Well, good afternoon, and welcome to this week's edition of Dry Facebook Live. I'm your host, Bob Spitz, along with my partner, Tony Whistler. And our special guest today is one of our teammates, Marissa Ruiz, who is the manager of our marketing services team. Welcome, Marissa. Glad to see you.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to provide some help, and I'm interested to hear questions as well.
Cool.
Fantastic. Well, let's see if we can get some people live and chatting, and we'll take it from there. But Marissa, I think the topic that we want to talk about is car count. Now, many shops struggle with consistent car count. They'll have boom, they'll have busts, and there could be internal reasons why that happens, not just from marketing, although marketing is a big part of it, but marketing starts the entire flow into a shop. And if you don't have a strong marketing program and a marketing strategy, it's not like the old days when you had a yellow page ad and a business card and away you went, right?
Yellow pages, huh?
Yeah, yellow pages, baby. So
Uh,
what we want to talk about today, Marissa, is how can a shop, because it can look daunting. Marketing today is so different than it was when it was all print media and direct mail. And for a shop owner to get their wits around what channel do I use? How do I even approach this thing called marketing? What do I do? What are some of the things that a shop owner really needs to focus on? What have you and your team been finding that works for shop owners to establish a good flow of vehicles coming in the door and to help get their car count consistent?
Well, I guess where I would like to start off is it is true that it can seem intimidating, even for me as a marketing specialist. There's always new products coming out, even some of the traditional products, online products such as Google Ads or social media platforms like Facebook. They're always trying to innovate and come up with new products to sell and to enhance marketing. However, you don't have to know how to use every single product. There are several steps that you can make within your shop that will assist in building your online presence and your foundation.
I think that's what we want to investigate, especially let's make believe I just opened up a new auto repair shop. What do I do?
Well, step one would be if you don't have a website, you need a website. And sometimes I'll get a response. This is not often, but I will get responses from clients that they are used to a more word of mouth approach. It doesn't have, or that word of mouth works very positively for them. That's great. That doesn't mean that if you have a website that anything's going to be taken away from that avenue. It's that we want to expand upon that. So for your community, let's say if you have a great word of mouth culture within your client base, that a lot of them are referrals. Just because they may be hearing within their community, the majority of people are looking online. So you want to capitalize on that community that you're building, which is a really positive thing, and ensure that they can spread the word. And there's a lot of actions that you can take, such as asking for reviews, sharing your website or social media with them, getting those clients that are referred, getting them to follow your pages, because then every time you're posting to your social media, which for us, for our clients, we post for them twice a week. They're seeing it's a way to consistently keep your name in front of your client's screen or in front of their face, essentially, as many times as you want. You kind of have that power to communicate with them. Doesn't mean that they're going to need automotive or truck or collision repair help every day, but you're going to be the one on their mind. So that way, when somebody forgets, or let's say if somebody, when an issue does arise, what are they going to do? Are they going to go to Google? Yes, possibly. but they might also remember that shop that they've already been to, that they've already had a good experience at, that they actually left for a review for because you asked them to as they were checking out, and that they already see on their Facebook all of the time. So that's one note. You want to have a website, you want to have social media to keep those clients engaged that you already have. And if you're starting from scratch, like in the instance that Bob presented, that's where you're going to start. That's where you're going to start getting new customers. It doesn't mean that you can't still take advantage of things like postcards. We actually offer postcards and different types of postcards because they're successful. But you want to have that online foundation to where somebody can reach you at any time. Somebody who's passing through the area can find you. Somebody who's new to the area can find you. Because however you invest in essentially a website is going to have your shop information as well as optimized content. It's going to list the services that you offer. It's going to also, if it's done professionally, the keyword density is going to be measured. So that way, when Google scans the website, I like to use the example of or a sort of metaphor of a library looking in the books and seeing what shelves they should put it on. Google will crawl your website, and it's going to index the website for searches that are appropriate, and it does that based off of the content that's on your website, the written content. So a professional website is going to be really well optimized, and the second you get that website up, as long as it's being maintained, as long as you're keeping it updated, that is an investment that is not going to depreciate. You're only going to remain competitive and essentially increase your online visibility. So that is step one, getting in the online game. And if you aren't necessarily comfortable with that at first, that's when to consider investing in a company that can provide that, that has.
You mean like us?
Like
Yes.
Drive.
Right.
Now, I have a quick question too about this. Doesn't having a website kind of create like legitimate, like authenticness for the business? Like it used to be in the 70s, if you didn't have a Yellow Pages ad, going back to the Yellow Pages
You
again,
didn't exist.
then nobody thought you were real. They thought you were probably some kind of a fly-by-night operation
Yeah,
or
shade tree.
but they didn't think you were a real business. Now I feel like it's doesn't the website say, look, we're a real company? Like
It's even, yes, even for the smallest business, even for artists, it's a goal to maintain. You feel legitimate once you have the website because then you're participating in being competitive online. Then you're essentially entering the world where everyone's looking for information. So definitely, it's a standard, and it's important. And what you can build off of that. And once you have that, having a social media presence, those are essentially like if managed correctly, they're like extensions of the website. So for us here at Drive, all of the social media posts we output, our strategy is to improve the search engine optimization, or SEO. So we're hitting certain keywords, and it happens often when we're doing analyses for clients. And if we're searching certain keywords and seeing how they rank, not only will their website appear, but more than not, links to various Facebook posts we've written. So you're able to use those platforms and that's why I say as extensions to the website, because there are additional links that can occupy space on Google. You're occupying more real estate essentially on Google. And it's not to say that every single time, if you're updating, it's a very competitive game. So it's not to say that you're always going to rank #1 if you're constantly posting, but you're definitely not going to rank on the first page if you're not at all. So that's what our company how we strategize our social media output. However, in shop, what you want to do is engage the people that are following your page. You want to post engaging content, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that, which is posting clips, video content is extremely engaging. We definitely recommend it on social media, and it can seem, let's say if you've never done it before, very intimidating. But I promise you, once you get into the habit of just opening the camera, saying, Bob, stand there and explain what you're doing to the car, clicking record. And then if you have someone show you through just the first steps, it's as easy as in 3 buttons, 3 clicks, you can get that video live added on your Facebook. And
Well, is that something your team can help with?
yeah, definitely, absolutely. It's not intimidating, but I understand how it can be if you haven't done it before. But remember that you want your shop to be successful, and in the same way that you were brave enough to open up your own business, or the same way if you're already an established shop and you're brave enough to keep wanting more and more growth, you have to be brave enough to step into to not be intimidated and to think of it as an opportunity to learn something new. Because when we have shops that have our influx of SEO posts and also have that engaging content, it's like we're making sure that people will find links to their page who don't already follow them or know them. But when they click on it and they get to see who the shop is, what they do, who might be working on my car, it really helps increase the possibility that user is going to convert into a client.
Now, one of the things that I struggled with for a lot of my life is being a perfectionist. And I'd be afraid if I did a video, it would look like dirt. But I don't think they have to be Hollywood production videos, do they? I think there's value in authenticity.
That is a very good point. And with the website, we encourage our clients to get their team to be dressed nicely and have those team photos. But with social media, keep in mind that the only person that is going back and forth through your photos and your videos on your page is yourself. Everybody else, they follow many people and they're seeing a constant scroll of content. And it's a lot more casual than you might want that website to be. The website is sort of that initial landing point and stamp. Sometimes on the About Us page, though, the page where we show the shop, we'll use photos where the teams are making silly faces. That can be a more personable page. But with social media, it's really just a way to talk to the client. Would you be in a 3-piece suit every day at work as you talk to your clients? No, you want to show an authentic a view of what it would be like if you come in the shop. That it's not going to be intimidating, because sometimes taking your vehicle, which for the majority of Americans is, their prized possession, something that they really rely on, they're afraid to take it into a shop. And it can be such a foreign space for them, because speaking for myself, I wouldn't know. I've accumulated a lot of knowledge and I can write a lot of knowledge, but as far as if you ask me to lift my hood and fix something, that's going to be a scary situation for me.
You're going to raise your hand and go, help.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And when I do walk into a shop and someone is talking to me like I'm their sister or their close friend and have that personable experience, I absolutely go back to that shop. So you're able to do that on social media through your video content, through your photos, by posting a photo and writing, here's, the team working on, if you're a collision shop, photos are especially great, and a little easier to maximize because you can show before and after photos. But even for GR shops and truck shops, just showing the team, showing who's working there, it brings the in-shop experience to the customer, and that is only going to help you and will never hurt you.
Very cool.
Now, one of the mistakes that I see made when I am scrolling around looking at different shops and what they're doing is some of them don't capture their Yelp listing or their Google My Business page. How do they do that? What do they have to do?
So with Google and Yelp, there are some similarities in that, let's say there is a new shop that is built somewhere. So there was no existing structure there before. Then you could create a map listing by writing down the address. Essentially, you would go to Google, add a business listing, and input the address. And that's similar with Yelp, but majority of the time you're occupying a space that already existed. So for the majority of situations, I would even say 90% of the time, what you're doing is just claiming an address that already exists on Google Maps, claiming an address that already exists on Yelp, and then just inputting your information. Now, it can be tricky if you don't have, if this is new for you. For us, our clients that are onboarded, we service the Facebook page, the Google My Business listing, and both of those get 2 social media posts a week. And then the Yelp listing we manage and we help set up. There's no opportunity to post. That is more just of a regular listing. Otherwise, we would post to it. But it can seem a little bit tricky, but if at first, but I would say try it. If you have a consultant, and you're not on the marketing services, we can get connected and see how we can help. But even Googling step by step instructions. But you definitely want to be you need a Google listing, because a Google listing, if you don't know what it is a listing that will occupy the whole right side of a Google search if your listing is the one to rank. On top of that, if somebody is searching in Google Maps, if somebody opens Google Maps, which I do often if I'm looking for a gas station, if I'm looking for a shopping center, I just go straight to the maps and look what's close to me. So if somebody searches in Google Maps, that listing also appears, and it has your website linked. It has your, it's basically like an online Yellow Pages. So you want to be on there, and it's free to claim a listing. It's free to be on those platforms. There's opportunities to invest in advertising on those platforms, but to get started and just get your information on there, that comes at no cost. So you definitely want to take advantage of those opportunities.
And you'd set up that page and you could put all the information that you want to have in there, shows up on the side, is what you're saying. So it could
Yes.
be the name of the company. You could have a little bio, photos, whatever. That's all very, is it similar to like setting up a Facebook page? Like that kind of, is that how the operation of it is? Like you can put photos up, you can put little
Yes.
pieces of information. So it's not that difficult to like just get it the way you like it, as it were.
No, the only part that can be tricky, correct, it's not difficult. The only part that can be tricky, but it's not, so don't get intimidated. It can seem tricky is the verification process, which is basically with Google, they're verifying that whoever is claiming this listing actually is occupied at that address. So sometimes if you click get verified, it'll call the number there. Google also, they'll present a couple different options. Sometimes they'll only give you one option. Google also sometimes will send a postcard to that address, and it has like a 4-digit or 5-digit code. Then you log on Google and input that code. So that's what that whole verification process is. For Yelp, it's always a phone call. You click like, call me, I'm at the shop, this is my number. It's just verifying that you actually exist at that address that because otherwise I could just go on and claim every single listing.
In a whole city, you take every address in the entire town.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because I see sometimes in the Google My Business page, there's no photo, information's incomplete, store hours aren't there, and the importance of making sure that that listing is accurate and current is very important. You know, it's not the set it and forget it of old print media. Once you had your Yellow Page ad figured out, that was it for a year. You didn't have to worry about it. But now you have to stay on top of all of this, really, and that can be daunting, because your website is really a virtual shop,
There you
and
go.
having it with real photographs instead of stock photographs and current information and the right links, that takes some thought and it takes some diligence to get that done. So I recommend to anybody who's getting into this game to seek help in it because you
It's like
know,
publishing a magazine. It's not like painting a picture and hanging it on a wall.
yeah, because it is so vitally important. You know, we were talking before the show, Marissa, that there's two truths in this business, and one is production problems kill sales. Because if the back is not getting it done, the front will turn off the sales valve, and they'll start pushing people out a week, 2 weeks, and they lose them that way. But the other one is quality control problems kill car count. And that's not just the quality of the repair, but it's also the quality of the service to the customer. You know, this industry, I've been in this industry for over 50 years, and it was very tech centric for a very long time. And as one of my friends who was a Mr. Goodrich service advisor said, you know, as long as we didn't abuse customers too badly, they came back because they had to, because the
Yes.
cars were so poorly built. But that's not the case anymore. And the whole business has become much more customer centric, and that customer experience is so vitally important to making sure that you've got the reputation that you need to have, because social media is the modern day word of mouth. So now we're talking about reputation management. What can we do for customers?
A very, very good point. You know, similar to what I said in the beginning about wanting to capitalize on the clientele that you do have, I try to drill home, and the clients that have that complete this practice, it does work. If you're not using a reputation management system, which Drive does have our own reputation management system, and it helps streamline getting reviews from clients, getting feedback from them right after it happens. If you don't have a reputation management software or something similar to that, you have to. I personally think that you should have the combination of both. But what you have to do is have someone at the shop where it is a practice isn't even a strong enough word that I want to say. That it has to be a pattern where every single time that you have a positive experience with a customer, you're asking for the feedback. We can also create, if you're on our services, we create flyers with the QR code, which allows clients to just scan their phone, open up their camera over the QR code, and it'll pull up their Google or their Yelp. Most of our clients are push for the Google reviews, and I recommend that as well. But for clients that live in areas where Yelp is very active, then we can put a Yelp QR code on there as well. But you just want to get those reviews, and also remember that it's a relationship that you're nurturing within this business. It's not a one and done service. You have the opportunity to capture them as a lifelong client. So what you want to do is nurture those relationships through online as well. And that's where that engaging content comes in as well. Checking in with everybody, saying, hey, I wish everybody a great Friday. Here's a picture of us at the shop.
Having barbecue.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But getting those reviews, don't be shy about it. It is a standard that everyone does. Everywhere I go, people ask for reviews. It doesn't, sometimes I'll get the response that, oh, I don't know, like it feels uncomfortable, or I don't want to push it, or I don't want to seem pushy. It's not that. It's just, asking, it's just nurturing your business. And we as the users that found you online, we read the reviews. We go through the reviews, and we're reading them before we go there. So it's not something that should ever be something that you hesitate to ask for. It can be something as simple as, hey, we love your feedback on Google if you can, or hey, if you want to leave us a review, it really helps our business, and you can point to the flyer right next to the checkout counter. So you definitely want to capture those. And I know we're kind of running out of time, but I
We
want
are,
to.
and I've got so many questions for you, and we don't have time for them. But my big question is, are you going to be at the expo to meet with people and help them with their social media and their online presence?
Yes, every expo, that is what I'm put there for. I am at a desk, so just come find me. And that's exactly what I do. Whether you're on our services and want to review, whether you're not on our services and want to review and want recommendations of what services would be good for me. I don't know if I'm ready yet, but what would you recommend? That's why I'm there. So come on by, and I'm happy to talk to you. And if you don't, I'm just going to sit there lonely anyway. So.
Oh,
Well,
I
I'll come
doubt
by
you'll
and
be
say hi.
lonely,
I
Marissa.
doubt it too.
And
I
Tony,
doubt
that
it
leads
too.
us to station break time.
We do have a station break next week. The show will be feature Carla Weiss, a master elite shop owner, Dan Vasquez, and Carla is Dan's consultant, and he's from Performance Motor Works. And we're going to chat with those guys. I also just want to
He's
throw
become
in,
one of your star instructors.
that's what I was going to say. He's absolutely one of our best instructors. We have a great team of instructors here, and he is one of my faves. Also, just so you know, Bob, he's also a pretty good drummer. That's what
You know, I just found that out recently. I didn't know he was.
yeah, he's got some pretty good video. I saw that of him playing. So all of it, I told him we're going to put together an expo band and we're going to play at the expo. And he
A
said,
rock drummer, jazz.
I heard him playing some good old Southern rock. So I don't know how much jazz he plays, but I know that he plays some good Southern rock. He was really cooking on Sweet Home Alabama, I think is what I heard him play.
Oh. Now, what about this thing above our heads here
Now
that
that's the
Marissa's going to
expo.
be at?
That's right. And apparently Dan's going to play some drums there too. No, I don't know. We'll see if that works out. On September 18th is when it starts, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's going to be at in Las Vegas. And I'm trying to remember the hotel now. I've lost track of the hotel. Someone help me out here. The
Scan the QR code on your image.
Westgate, the Westgate. Going to be at
Oh,
the
yeah, we could
Westgate in
scan the
Vegas.
QR code right on our screen here.
That's right.
Yeah,
Let's
it's going
do
to be at the
that.
Westgate. Brittany just said
That's
Westgate.
right. That's what I got it. I have my old card with Barry Manilow on it from the last time we did it. Barry played the weekend we were there.
Oh,
I
wow.
say Barry like I know him, like he's a friend.
Yeah, sure. They wheeled him out and then wheeled him back and
Yeah, exactly. But so that's where it'll be. It'll be
I
this
think
time. It's
Brittany posted the link, didn't she, on
there.
in the
That would be
Facebook page?
awesome, quite possibly. Um, and then so that's what's going to happen then. And also, we will talk when we talk with Dan next week. We'll talk about some workshops that he has coming up. And back to you, Bob.
Well, thank you very much. So, Marissa, I think the service you provide is so valuable. It's so important. You know, so many shops don't understand marketing. They're intimidated by it. They think it's just expensive. One of the first things they knock out of their budget when business is bad is advertising, which is the absolute wrong thing to do. But I understand why they do it. But understanding how to get into this game and make this work for you is so absolute vitally important. So I want to thank you for the services that you provide. I know, I read those reviews all the time that the CSI checks that Martha does on marketing, and if they're always tens.
Mm-hmm.
Your customers love you, Marissa.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
They're just all tens.
I'm happy to work with our clients, and I hope to keep being able to work with more. So find me at the expo if you're curious about what services would be fit for you, and I'll be there.
Reach
Okay,
out to your
great.
consultant if you want to talk to her too.
Yeah.
Just talk to your consultant or call us up and we'll shoot her over to you.
Any last words, Tony?
That's all I got.
I think that's all I have too. So, Marissa, once again, thanks for joining us. And for everybody listening in, I hope you have a great weekend and a fabulous 2025. And here's to highest ever numbers and beyond your wildest dream success.
Very good.
Thank you, folks. And so from all of us at Facebook, Drive Facebook Live, so long.